backstory. Our phone overheated. We live in Vegas and it's just hot
Yes.
here.
Yes.
Even inside it's hot, but we're good. Okay, so if you're just joining, you're definitely meant to watch this. Every time things like this happen, I know it's just a sign that you are meant to watch this live stream
Mm.
specifically. So lean in. And if you're new, you can go and rewatch the part 1. We're talking about how to attract healthy provider energy men that want to spoil the crap out of you, that chase you and want to marry you. So you're definitely here to hear this message. This is meant for you. And where we left off was, do you remember, honey?
Not specifically. It was something good though.
I know. It's like always at like the peak of, something like we're on fire and we're
Yes.
I know, we were talking about communicating with the masculine
Mm.
and how important that is. At the beginning we were talking about being in your magnetic feminine energy, and
Mhm.
then we were talking about communication and really upping your communication skills, and then that's when it cut
Yes.
out.
So
So
if you posted any questions,
yeah.
go ahead and repost those questions for us. I know we did have a question if we want to jump into
Yes,
that.
let's get right into it.
This is from Tanya. I think she's in our community.
Oh yeah, Tanya's definitely in our community.
Tanya is in the
I'm proud of my
community.
Tanya. She's really having a feminine energy
Yes.
glow up.
Yeah. So she said, what if you work with a man as well
Mhm,
or building a business together?
mhm.
How do you both communicate successfully? You wear two hats, relationship and business. So
Oh,
that's definitely
yeah.
something you can speak to because
Mhm.
that's our situation. So you have
Yes.
so much experience with that. So if you want to share, go
Yes.
ahead.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple different scenarios. Okay, so so this will help everyone that's listening right now, because I know that we have a lot of boss babes
Hmm.
that are in our community that are getting coached by us right now as well. So just a quick example, when we first started talking, so assuming he doesn't know you, I'm going to give you that scenario first. Is like you guys are just getting to know each other, and then I'll give you this scenario where you guys actually work together,
Yes.
because they're different scenarios. So say you guys are just talking, you're just getting to know each other, and you're a boss babe, like you're successful, right? When you're first talking to him, you don't need to go into all the details about how amazing you are with
Hmm.
business. Okay. What a man wants to feel is like he has space to impress you. He has space to really be that lead provider role. If you come in with the energy of you don't need any masculine man, you have no, you're not, you're taking care of business, you're so successful, you're trying to always impress him, you're almost in this like competitive energy with a man, and he might look at you as like a cool person, like, oh, I
Hmm.
want to hang out with this girl, like she's really cool, we can like make money together,
Hmm.
but he's not going to be attracted to you. So perfect example, when we first started talking, I had already built a very successful business online, physical products business online. And I remember specifically, we were just talking, and he was talking about like selling some product online. He was like into real estate and insurance and stuff, but he was also talking about, selling a product on Amazon or something.
Right.
And I wasn't like, oh yeah, by the way, I've sold hundreds and thousands of items on Amazon. I've done
Right.
millions of dollars. No, I was like, oh, that's nice. That's
Right.
cool. And that was it. That was the end of that conversation. And then we're like on to the next thing, because that gave him space to impress me.
Hmm.
Now he's going to want to know, what you're into, what you're passionate about. You still have things going on, you still have opinions on things. He's going to be attracted to that. But the biggest thing with a masculine is you want to give them space to impress you. Okay. Like you are so impressed with the littlest things that they do, and you're never trying to one up him.
Yes. That's so
Now,
key.
let's move into the phase where you guys know each other. Okay. So you guys know each other. Maybe you're building, maybe you work together. We'll say you guys work together. So yes, you do have to have, you have to be in your masculine a little bit when you are building stuff. And that's okay. You can still do things. But once again, it's the same sort of principles where you're giving him space to impress you. Actually, no, let me backtrack. The number one thing you have to do, and Coach B always says this, is you have to look good. Like you have to
That's
look.
always number one.
That's number one.
Always.
So I can't get past that part. You have to look good. Okay. So like following all the things that we teach in the Feminine Energy Academy and on this YouTube channel, you have to look good. You need to stand out, especially if you work with a bunch of girls and him, like you just look really, really good. Nice body, hair, all that stuff. You're not in bro energy.
Hmm.
And then when you guys are working together, the biggest thing is you're fun.
Yeah.
You're fun to be around. You're not uptight. You're not like what we were just talking about in part one, that super forward, direct energy that a lot of women think that they need to have. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch part one of this live stream before we got cut off. But you don't want to be in that energy with men that you work with. You want to be fun. You want to look good. And of course, you can still share your opinions and you can still get stuff done, but you do it in a fun, relaxing way. It's like when you are there, it's so peaceful. When you're there, it just feels good to be in your energy. The other thing too, and I already know Tanya, so I know she's not like this, but you don't want to be like bitching and complaining about other women and gossiping, or you're like coming at other men. You don't want to be doing any of those things because that's going to be a major turnoff for him.
And when you're dating someone or you're with someone, I don't know the nature of that relationship that you're speaking of, but you want to make sure, depending on the working side, depending on what your title is, what your role is working with them, you always want to be in your feminine when you're dealing with him as far as talking to him. You don't want to come at him in some type of old boss way of, okay, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's a time and place to let him know, if you're in a higher position than him, that, okay, this is needed. But you don't want to come across like you're super in your masculine. So understanding your role in the relationship, because even if he's in a position higher than you, it may be some things that you do better than him. For instance, with us, even with us just being online, there's some things that she does with editing. There's some things that she does with online that she's over. So I'm not stepping in her, like, I'm not stepping over her in that area, but it's still a conversation as far as how we go about it. So I'm still feeling respected. So it's not like, okay, well, I'm doing the editing, so you just have to sit there and whatever happens, happens. That type of conversation doesn't work. But it's really understanding, even if you're in a higher role than him for a specific project or the job, understanding how to speak with him, understanding he's still, at the end of the day, I don't care what your title is at work, working together, he's still someone you're in a relationship with. And men and women, but we don't forget, like, okay, that happened at work, so we'll just say, forget it. That's something that you have to be aware of, something you have to be intentional on. And the relationship can work if you're specific about how you're going about it in dealing with each other. So it takes communication and conversation. Instead of you just saying, okay, I'm going to do this, do that, talk to him and see how things can work out smoothly if it's not working out smoothly at this point.
So good. Okay, I'm going to give you girls a really great hack right now. This is a fun hack. If you are working with a guy that you really like, you need to be in your secretary energy. Okay? I want you to be in secretary energy. There's a reason why, and I'm not saying this is for everyone, and there's different scenarios. We're having fun for a second, okay? We're assuming this is a healthy scenario, okay? There's a reason why men will go for, the so-called secretary type or the waitress type. It's because my stomach's grumbling. She is in her soft, fun, bubbly energy. She's not trying to outsmart her boss. She's not trying to compete with him. She's not trying to prove her worth, prove her value. What is she doing? She's super helpful. She's cute, and she's just fun to be around. That's why he wants to be in her energy. Yeah. So when you're at work, babe, or you're working with some guy, this is what I want you ladies to do. I want you to be, even if you're the boss or you're the CEO, I understand you have to be professional. If like, you're leading a team. Okay, yes, be professional. But if you're around the guy specifically, I want you to kind of have fun being in your secretary energy, where you're just impressed by him, his little things like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Ask him for his opinion. I did this with my husband. Okay. So even though I'm like, I love to edit, like it's like, I love editing. I think it's really, really fun, and social media. So I will be like, hey, babe, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And don't be triggered if he's like, you need to change that. I've had to work on that. Work on my rejection abandonment wounds.
Yeah.
And then
if you're asking.
Yeah, if I'm asking. But no, he wants to share his opinion with you. So ask him for his opinion, be impressed, and most importantly, babe, look cute.
Yes. And we have another question. Happy SWT. I think she's asked a few questions on here. And this one's pretty simple to answer. She said, "Can I visit his place before date one? Must date one be outdoors?"
1,000% no.
Yes.
Do not go to his house.
No.
Okay, because you're gonna be. I feel like you need to answer
Yeah.
that.
Well,
Yeah.
going to his house on that first date, first off, it's just going to be a hookup. That's the whole intent of it. Then the whole nature of a relationship becomes hookup, becomes a situationship. And no man, for the most part,
Mhm.
if you're coming over the first date, he's going to expect you to come over every date. He's never going to want to take you out. He puts you into which no matter how good you look, how good the conversations were, when you're over there the first date, because he's had a long day, he's been at work, he doesn't feel like going out, he's tired, so just come over. When you're coming over, and I'm telling you, don't trust me. I'm just telling you how men say that. When you go over, that changes the whole dynamics of the relationship, and most times the relationship never turns into anything serious.
Yeah, exactly, ladies. And it's just low effort, right? So you can just be like, I don't prefer coming over on a first date. And if he gets triggered and you don't hear from him again, that was a blessing for you. You dodged a bullet.
Yes.
Okay?
A
Yeah.
big one. So don't
Yes.
feel like you have to make
Yes.
that decision because you
Yeah.
really like him and you don't want to lose him.
Yes.
You have to do what makes sense for you.
Yes. Okay, Ramsha, I can see her. She says, I'm so in my secretary energy, and it makes the guy I'm seeing feel so smart. I love it. Yeah. And Ramsha is a boss babe. Like, she's killing it. She's she's in our Feminine Energy Academy. She's one of my cash flow queens in my business mentoring program as well. But yeah, this is your feminine intelligence, babe. You can have a 7-8 figure business. You can be a CEO. You can be a doctor. We have a lot of doctors, professors in our community, but you can still turn on that feminine energy, the
Yes.
secretary energy.
That's a new term, but great
Yes.
way to put it.
Yes.
We have Alicia who's also in the community. She said, "How do I reconnect with someone I've disconnected with multiple times due to my own insecurities and lack of awareness in a feminine way?"
Mm. That's so good. Okay, this happens a lot where ladies will come in and into our community and they've done so much healing and then they realize like, "Oh my goodness, I was in my wounded masculine energy. I was triggered. I didn't know how to talk to the masculine." And then they realize, "Oh, that guy was actually a really good guy." And they're like, "How do I get back in front of this guy?" Well, you're not going to be in your chasing mode, okay? So you're going to be scripting like what I teach my girls to do. You're scripting calling in your husband in the Feminine Energy Academy. And then you look, I already know Alicia, she looks like a 10 out of 10 dime. Then you want to put yourself in front of him. So if you're online, for example, like say he's following you on Instagram, is he following you on social media? If he's following you on social media, you can like one of his photos. You're not going to go blow up his phone. You're not going to don't start watching his stories. Okay, don't start watching his stories. That's you and chasing energy. He should be watching your stories, not you watching his stories. And if you really want, you can maybe like a photo or something. Or if you know that he's going to be at a certain place and then maybe you're not going and hanging out there, but maybe, if he works at the gym or like he, works out at a certain time, you can be seen there, but don't overdo it.
Yeah, and
That's what I would
it all
say.
comes down to just dropping the handkerchief,
Yes,
as you said. No
exactly.
matter what the situation is, to get a guy's attention, which you don't want to just be all over him, but it's still a way that you can get his attention without chasing him.
Yes.
And that's doing those small things that you just spoke of,
Yes.
and not being connected to his response or anything, because remember, it's always this person or someone better. So
Exactly.
even though that situation was great, you really like him, you really think you want to be with him, just do the small things. Men are watching everything.
Yeah.
I don't care if you accidentally went into their story for a second. They see that you saw their story and they're going to take notes. So any little small thing you do, men will see it, and now it's up to them to respond.
Okay, so she's saying he is watching my stories and we don't follow each other. Okay, so he's watching.
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do, babe, is be in your wife energy. Coach B was watching my stories and watching me on social media for months before he reached back out. And I wasn't paying attention, to be honest. I wasn't. I was still focused on, my business and stuff too. But just focus on looking good. Don't be in the same energy. Like you should be able to tell
Yeah.
even on your social media that you've changed. If you're still wearing the same outfits, if you're still at the club partying and you're posting
Right.
that, he's not going to be attracted to
No.
that. You have to show that you're in your wife energy. So you are like, you're looking good, but you're doing more wifey type stuff,
So true.
Yeah.
Now we have another question. This is from our comment section on one of our videos, and I know we have a lot of single moms
Mhm.
that follow us as well. And her question was, when do you let a man who's dating for marriage meet your kids?
When do you let a man who's dating you for marriage meet your kids?
Yes.
Okay, well, first of all, you need to vet the guy, make sure he is who he says he is. That's probably the biggest thing. And I mean, it's different for everybody. I've heard two different theories. So some people are like, oh man, I wonder if the phone's getting hot again. Some people are like, okay, if they want to introduce the guy right away to see how the kids react. And then some people, like how I was like, I'm not introducing a man to my kids until I know we're getting married, type thing. So we were really serious. We weren't engaged yet, but this was kind of like a determining factor of us getting engaged. Was Coach B came to Canada and for the purpose of getting married, and then I introduced him to the kids.
Yeah.
So for you, really use your discernment, ladies, really use your discernment. And if you've vetted him, he matches your love list. He's not just some guy that's telling you he wants to date you for marriage. Like he actually meets your love list. Then you can, first of all, talk to your kids about dating. That's what I did is I talked to my kids about dating for marriage. So they felt really involved, and then ease the person into it. And how you want to do this, hopefully the phone won't overheat. If it does, you just got to jump in our academy. We'll continue this conversation. But one thing you want to do when you are introducing the guy to your kids is you want to be out in a place where the kids can run around and there's food involved. And the reason why this is really important is because it helps re-regulate the kids' nervous system. So kids' nervous system, I learned this from my therapist actually, because we had a professional therapist helping us introduce the kids into the situation because my kids had gone through a lot of trauma and loss with their dad. So this is what she suggested for me, and it worked so well. Is when they are meeting, they need to be able to play, talk to you guys, hang out, eat food, activity with people, eating food, and then they need to be able to run around so they can re-regulate. Now, also just note your kids, depending on where they're at, they might be triggered. They might be good at one moment and then triggered the next moment. That's what I had to deal with my kids. But the most important thing is if your nervous system is regulated as the mom, everyone around you will shift. So your biggest thing is making sure you're good, you're not triggered, because here's the scenario that often happens with single moms is you haven't done any inner healing, you're triggered really easily. He does something or the kids do something, then you're triggered. Now everyone is feeling triggered, and because mom's upset, the guy's upset, he's turned off and he's like, moving on. Kids are having meltdowns. No, we don't want that. What we want is you as the woman, you as the feminine, because it's all about relationships with the feminine, is you're taking time. You have done your inner work. You've done your inner healing. You're really nervous system re-regulated. And then you introduce the kids slowly to the right guy, and you do it in a fun setting so their nervous systems feel safe.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
good because that's what you were able to do as
Yeah,
well. It's more
yeah.
of a soft
Yes,
introduction
it was.
where we first introduce each other online, not online, but on FaceTime,
Yeah.
and then kind of move forward from there. So it basically comes down to where you are, but making sure that this is someone who's dating you for marriage,
Yeah.
not someone who's just like, okay, we really like each other, anything like that, because you don't want to just start introducing your kids to different type of men.
Yeah.
You don't want to put that trauma on them. You don't want to feel like, okay, we like each other, I have to introduce him, but do it softly and do vetting, the
Yes.
vetting first, because it's better to introduce him a little later than it is a little earlier.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think you should wait later. I think you should really vet the guy because you don't know who's out there. And you, as a single mom, you have to be protective of your kids. You don't just let any guy have access to your kids. Like Coach B was the first one that I was seriously dating for in marriage that got to meet my kids. Yeah.
So we have another question. This is Brianna. She's been on here, Brianna Sedgwick. She's been on here a few times. She says her husband, and this is good because I think it is really about embodying. So I want you to go into detail if you could. She said her husband wants to know what it means to be in my feminine energy. How can I explain it to him?
Um, can you maybe go first?
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Oh, not a problem.
yeah.
For me, the way you explain it to him, and this is just, I mean, as a man, I don't want to sit around and hear like, okay, all the details of what being in your feminine is. It's just more about you just being soft receiving, just listening, and really not being like super in his face or anything. So just
Yes.
relaxed in your receiving energy, but you don't want to have to go into detail with this. You want to be one that's embodying it, where he's seeing something different and he's trying to figure out what is this that I'm seeing. Then you can say, I'm in my feminine or whatever, however you want to say it, but he should see it more than you should say. So that's the way I would approach it.
Yeah, that's why I wanted you to mention something about like how men perceive it. You don't explain to people that you're in your feminine. Ladies, like we're talking to you about it, but when you're out there talking to people, you're not telling people you're in your feminine.
Right.
So when you see the girls like, on Pop the Balloon show and all that, they're like, I want to be in my femininity and I want a man to spoil me. They're not in their feminine energy. You're in your head.
Yes.
Okay, feminine energy is about your energy. It's about how people feel in your presence. That's it. That's literally what feminine energy is. It's how people feel in your presence. It's your ability to receive, your ability to just relax, your ability to not have to over control people and come at people and chase people. So you literally don't have to tell him anything. He should just see a shift in you. That's how you know you're actually in your feminine energy, is people start to treat you differently.
Yes.
You're magnetic. So you'll notice this is one of the biggest things that you know you're actually in your feminine is the masculine will start to come towards you. Men will start to come up to you. They will approach you. Women and children will approach you. You just, when you're out and about, people just love being in your energy and they can't explain it. So that's how you really, really know you're in your feminine. Yeah.
So if he's already seeing those changes,
Yeah.
then you can let him know that's what it is. Because for us as men, going through all those details, it doesn't really resonate, at least for me, it doesn't resonate. But if he's seeing it, just let him know that's what it is, because that change, it's like when you haven't seen somebody in a while and you may see that they're taller, they're smaller, whatever the case, you can see it but can't put a finger on it. But those that have been away from you, or those that have just been watching in the background, they'll see something's different. And that's a little different thing that's going on with you, which is great to see. And it's great to see that he's also noticing it.
It's kind of like with confidence, right? When somebody has to over explain themselves, you know that they're actually not confident. Versus somebody that doesn't need to explain it, it's there, they have the receipts. They just, that's just who they are, right? That's real confidence. So same thing with feminine energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have another question from Vanessa. She said, what are your thoughts on women who have sexual contact with a guy, i.e. sexual touch, with a guy before they are in a relationship? Does it make a guy think a woman has less value?
Well, you can answer that
Yeah,
one.
I'll answer that one. When you said before they're in a relationship and you're having sexual contact with them, yes, it does. It can come across as not being as valuable for a relationship, not a person. You're still valuable as a person, but in that situation, if he has access to you sexually in any type of sexual way without a commitment, without marriage, it's no reason for him to get into a relationship. It's no reason for him to move forward and take that situation serious, because if he has access without a relationship, how men think, who else has access without a relationship? So he probably won't put himself out there with that type of behavior. Now things can potentially change, who knows? I can't speak for every man, but in general, if you're giving that up in a sense before just because he's cute or just because he complimented you, and
Mhm.
you're letting him touch on you or do whatever the case is, then that situation, it may become less valuable as far as moving forward in a relationship.
So good. Yeah, I mean, just think about anything. Think about a sports team. Men are not going to value a team that didn't try, right? And they beat that team. No,
Yeah.
they want to beat the team that, is high value. Same with hunting. They don't want
Mhm.
they don't want the prey that was just standing there. They
Exactly.
want to feel like they've had to work for it, right? Because men are sperm. Men are like the sperm. They're in the sperm energy. So if they have nothing to chase and work for, they subconsciously, ladies,
Yeah.
subconsciously will not value it. Okay.
That's so true. And it's good that you said subconsciously, because it's not even a decision that he's thinking about.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, that doesn't make sense. Let me move on.
Yeah, exactly. Especially men that are used to women just coming at them, or used to women just sitting and waiting there for them.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my husband. Okay. But it's not good. You're going to be like every other girl that he deals with.
So
Yeah.
true. So true. So many questions up in here. I want to see which one makes the most sense, which one is right along the lines of what we're talking about.
And also, ladies, while he is grabbing more questions, tomorrow Coach B is doing a
Yes.
masterclass, a private masterclass with the ladies in the Feminine Energy Academy. It's called The Man's Perspective, and it's really to teach you how men think. It's really to teach you on, the healthy masculine energy perspective. Also, this is your coaching opportunity. So if you want a safe place to ask questions, you're working through situations, and we've dealt with everything: situationships,
Yeah.
dating, not dating yet, divorces, widows, like how I was, marriages, women. We have women in there that have been married 30 years, right? We have women that literally were signing divorce papers, and then they've done a lot of stuff that we've teached, and it's really saved their marriage, or wrong relationships falling away. But if you want that safe place to ask questions and get a healthy masculine perspective, that will be in the Feminine Energy Academy. It's tomorrow. If you're watching the replay of this live stream, you can just go in there and you get access to all of our coaching masterclasses, all the replays in there as well. So, and I'll be coaching our business ladies tomorrow, business and social media ladies, for Cash Flow Queens. So we do that the third Saturday of every month.
So, hey, Faven, she's in the Feminine Energy Academy as well. Destiny said, lovely, classy, elegant, and intelligent looking couple.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you so much. Then we also have a question. She said, any suggestions on how to date a widower?
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to go into that, just kind of the approach on dating a widower.
Okay, so it's like anyone else, really. Have they done their healing? Have they done their healing? Like, I was a widow, right? So I deeply understand this. But when I was a widow, I was so proactive in my healing. I was so proactive in my healing because I didn't want my kids to suffer more. I wanted to get remarried, and because I wanted my kids to have a dad. That was really, really, really important for me. And that's what really drove me to get my inner healing, to learn about feminine energy, nervous system healing, communication with the masculine, dating, all of that stuff. So I can teach you girls this stuff now. But for a guy, sometimes they're stuck in their past. And I'm not saying all the time they're like this, but sometimes they are stuck in their past. So for you, it's the same principles apply, babe. You got to keep rotationally dating. If he knows that you're so into him, he's going to be turned off. He's just not going to feel attracted to you. You need to look good. Okay. You need to do all the things that we teach our girls. You look good. Like, that is like your number one priority as a woman, is you look good. Okay. Now, and not look good based on the female gaze. You look good based on the masculine gaze, the male gaze. This is stuff that we teach on this channel and in the Feminine Energy Academy. There's a very big difference. Okay. So you look good and you're just having fun. So, if you're hanging out together, you guys are spending time together, you're having fun, but he's showing signs that he has done some healing and he's ready to be in a relationship. Okay. Because otherwise, and I've seen this before, where women will wait around for the guy. Just needs time. Maybe he does need time, but you don't need to be waiting around for him. You need to be rotationally dating, doing other things, and that's what will get his attention if he's meant for you. If he's not meant for you, and he's just in his own pain still, then he's not the person you want to be dating anyway. Yeah.
So true. And we have another question that says, do you believe if a man really likes a woman, even if she's in the wrong, would he still reach out? And I'll answer that
Yeah, go
one.
for it, babe.
Because if a man likes a woman, now it's different ways that a man can like a woman. If you've been in the wrong as a woman, sometimes that's hard, depending on what level you've gone to. That can be challenging for a man to move forward. Now, remember, it may be some things that he likes about you, being around you, maybe the sex life you had, things like that. So a man can reach out for, but
Mhm.
unless a man is ready to commit to you and ready to be exclusive to you, reaching out means nothing.
Yeah.
He can reach out to you because you just crossed his mind. I was thinking about you. He'll text you like, "Good morning, beautiful. I was just thinking about you."
Mhm.
But guess what? He's texted 20 other women as well. So
Mhm.
a man reaching out to you is not a bad thing, but it has to be something else that comes with it.
Mhm.
Because reaching out alone, especially if you have a history with this person and things weren't dealt with, it was kind of like, okay, things went wrong, we separated, now he's reaching back out. No, things have to be dealt with. Whatever happened needs to be addressed. Once it's addressed, then potentially there's something there. But if he's just reaching back out to you after time has gone past and he hasn't committed to you, then I'll say just tread lightly with that. Don't get too excited in that situation.
Yeah, exactly, babe. No. I was like, no, that's good. Really good, honey.
Okay, I was like, okay, that's good to hear. So yeah, definitely. Let me see. It's a few more questions on here. Hello to Destiny. Few people. Looks like
Well, while you're still
yes.
looking, I will add this one thing. People reach out for different reasons. So
Mhm.
sometimes the guy, yeah, maybe he likes you, but sometimes he's just bored. Sometimes men just want that ego boost. A
Mm.
lot of times men haven't done their inner healing. And so they're trauma bonding in the sense of they're chasing that dopamine hit
Mm.
where they're like, don't talk to the girls for a while. And I'm saying girls because they probably do this with multiple women at once. And then, then they want to reach out of nowhere. And then they want to see if you can respond.
Right.
They want to see if you're still attracted to them, and
Yeah.
it gives them that ego boost. So the biggest thing with men, ladies, is you're looking at patterns. You're looking at patterns. You're looking at consistency patterns. This is not a one-off guy. This is not a
Mhm.
hot and cold guy. This is a guy that is consistent.
Mm.
That's what you want to actually look at. And you got to also look at, what are you attracted to? Are you attracted to the men? Just look at your past. Like, wholeheartedly right now, no judgment, just get curious, look at your past, okay? Typically, have you been attracted to the men that breadcrumb you? Have you been attracted to the men that have been hot and cold? Have you been attracted to the men that are inconsistent? Or have you been attracted to the good guys, to the guys that do show up consistently for you, that have gone over and above to make sure you're good and
Yes.
show you that you have nothing to worry about,
Mm.
that that their focus is on
Yes.
you. Because if you're turned off and you find those guys boring, it's because you got to do the inner healing, babe. If you are attracted to the bad guys and the guys that are breadcrumbing you, situationships, guys that are dragging things out, they're hot and cold, if that's your default, it's because you need to do the
Yes.
healing, babe, because everyone around you is mirroring you,
Yes.
is mirroring your energy. Your reality is mirroring your energy. And once you learn how to shift that and lean more into your feminine, that healed, whole,
Mm.
consistent feminine energy, just how polarity works, you will start attracting men that are in their masculine, that are consistent,
Yes.
and how women build attraction with guys, even if you don't feel attracted to him right away, as he's consistent with you and as you heal, this is important, as you
Mhm.
heal, you will start to find him more attractive.
And it's so important, and we always talk about this. The main thing is listen to what he does, not what he says. Watch what
Right.
he does, not what he says. Men are going to say a lot of things.
Mhm.
Men have a script for everything. Men are consistent in the sense of they'll consistently reach out to you
Yes.
to get what they want. But what are you doing when you reach out to me? So the doing instead of the talking. That's what we want to focus on.
Yeah. And ladies, men will drag this out forever.
Yeah.
They will literally drag this out forever. And we've seen it, right? Well, men will be in these situationships or even relationships for 5, 10
Yeah.
years, right? So it's really important that you are the one that taking your power back because the masculine responds to the feminine. Yeah.
Definitely. So that's so good. And the questions have been so good today. Most
Yes.
all you ladies have asked questions that are relevant because these are questions that people have that may not say anything. These are
Yeah.
questions that a lot of the ladies deal with because when you're changing, when you're growing, things are coming at you differently. And it's like, how do I respond
Yes.
in this situation? So it's so good. Even the questions
Shout
that the
out, shout
ladies
out to
are
South
asking.
Africa.
Yes,
It's
Denzel.
amazing. Yeah, we've been having a lot of women from Africa lately. Kenya, Zimbabwe, we have Nairobi, lots of South Africa, lots of women in the UK that are in our Feminine Energy Academy, which is amazing. We've had engagements actually from women in Africa, by the way.
Yes.
So yes, it's been
So
really, really good.
welcome. So definitely appreciate all you ladies that came on. Remember, we also have a part 1 where
Yes.
we where we went into just what is it? How to become spoiled? How to get the guy that you desire? You know, I don't come up with the title. So
I know. How you attract men that spoil, chase you, and want to marry you. So go watch part 1. And once again, if you want to jump into our private masterclass tomorrow, where we do coaching with our women, where you can get your questions answered, you get the masculine's perspective tomorrow. You can jump in and it's free. We have a free 7-day trial right now. So you can jump in, you can binge watch. For the ladies that are joining today or you're watching the replay and you're really interested in the stuff we talked about today, I really encourage you to go into the Divine Dating and Marriage section and go check out the communication masterclasses that we've done on. And also I have a whole section on how to get men to chase you, high value masculine energy men. And this is important in dating and in marriage. And then also go into the coaching replay section. In the coaching replay section is where we have our masterclass trainings. Those are so fire, where we go really deep coaching our ladies. We have masterclasses in there from former single moms who are now married, who are now engaged, and they're telling you their tips of what they did in the Feminine Energy Academy to really attract their husband. We have masterclasses in there about dating, how to optimize your dating app, how to communicate with the masculine. And if you want our feedback on your dating app, or you're not sure how to set up a dating app, you want us to hold your hand, then you can do that as well in the Feminine Energy Academy. It's just really important when you get in there to check your private message from us, because that's how we get you started with the right content, because there's a lot of stuff in there and I don't want you to feel lost. Also in there, I just added today, actually just last night, I added a 30-day drop a dress size program. So if you've seen my bone broth videos, ladies, you see me snatched, I do the stomach vacuums, and the stomach vacuuming, I do the hormone belly fat loss, all that stuff. I added a brand new program. We have 5 weight loss programs and body shaping programs in there, and you don't need to use a gym. You can do it from anywhere. Okay. So lots to help you with your glow up so you can look hot and sexy.
Shout out to Ethiopia and the UK.
Oh, okay. Ethiopia. I don't think we have anyone in the Feminine Energy Academy yet that's from Ethiopia.
No, not yet. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But they're coming from everywhere.
Yeah, they're coming from everywhere. Okay, we love you ladies so much. And let us know if you're watching the replay. If you have any other questions, you can comment those questions below. But have an amazing weekend, ladies.